Hey, good morning. Another beautiful day, another A-class and another video. Today I'm working on 2001 A190 automatic that needs repair to the gearbox, the usual problem, slipping first gear. I thought I might as well show you around the engine and the gearbox on the hoist before I start working on it. Just a quick overview. Engine and the gearbox out of the car are still attached together. I'm going to show you around different components, and you see, I have this problem that I can't talk a lot, and when I watch my own videos I notice that I don't talk enough, and sometimes I remember what I was meant to say after I finish the video. So if this happens, just let it go. Right. Let's start with this side, the belt side, the belt and the pulleys. So because this car has air conditioning, so this is the air conditioning compressor, this is the clutch. You have two idler pulleys the same size, I think they're 70mm, and the tensioner pulley. You have the water pump and the alternator here. It has the freewheeling pulley that, you know, it has kind of clutch. It turns only one way to dampen the vibration, to make the engine smaller. Same as used that as diesel engines. The crankshaft pulley, let me focus on that. The crankshaft pulley has a damper in the middle. It has rubber between the two metal parts. Also, this is to dampen the vibration, to make the engine smoother. Usually this is used in diesel engines because they vibrate a lot, and also in bigger engines, the A190 and A210. Not A140 and A160. However, in some cases when they get old and the rubber in the middle starts to perish, they start rattling. And I have to tell you, this bolt here, the crankshaft pulley bolt, is the tightest bolt in the whole car, and to replace or to remove the pulley is not the easiest job, I'll tell you that. Now that the engine is out, I always check the condition of the belt, and I can see it's cracking, and I'll replace it. But also the pulleys, just a quick check. And this one here, it's noisy and needs replaced, so I'll replace the belt and the top other pulley. The other two are okay and they're easier to replace. This is the most difficult one, so it's a good idea to replace this while the engine is out. What else? The engine mount in the back, they rarely go wrong, and I saw many people replace them for the wrong reason. Okay, yes, while showing you this, actually I remember that I wanted to show you a different setup for the stop-start system on the later A-class and B-class, but when I get one, I'll show it to you because it's totally different from this. Okay, now if the belt keeps jumping, which is common on diesel really, and you can see that it's not sitting in square straight on the pulleys, don't change the pulley on it. So you need to replace the whole bracket, and you need to lower the back of the engine a little bit, and it's held up here with 3 bolts. And also you need to remove the air conditioning compressor and alternator. Not the easiest job, not very pleasant job though. Okay, here we have this is the oil level sensor. When the oil goes down, goes up, and it shows you it's a low or high, whatever, and it's quite this long. You need to lower the back of the engine to get to it. A bit messy job. We have here this breather pipe here that runs like that. This breather pipe that runs from the lower part of the crankcase to all the way to the inlet manifold. They become like jelly when they get old, and they're not the easiest thing to replace. They did work on it on the later A classes, and they made it inside the engine rather than from outside, which is a wise thing to do. When they split, you smell a lot of fumes like burning oil. We have here the knock sensor. Knock sensor, we never hear of knock sensor. Nobody talks about it because they're so reliable. And wisely they hid it out of the way. Many people don't even know where it is. So let's forget about it. The starter on the A190 is slightly different from A140 and A160. This is similar to the A210, slightly thinner and longer. You see, if you're replacing the starter, you can remove the inlet manifold and get to the starter, but also you always have problem removing the bolt which is further from you. If you're doing it from here, from this side, then the one in the back here will be difficult to remove. If you're doing it from the front, then this one will be more difficult to remove. In all cases, the way they recommend doing it is lowering the whole subframe to gain access. But I think I made a video about how to remove the bolt which is in the front of the car, and then lower the back of the engine to get to this one, and I find this the best. I rather not touch the inlet manifolds anymore, because when the car gets old, the bolts tend to seize and we don't want to break them. So you don't go there unless you really have to. Catalytic converter. You see, this catalytic converter has 2 lambda sensors. Just a quick guide. If it has 2 lambda sensors, then you know this car is ULEZ compliant. So this car is 2001 and it is ULEZ compliant. So all the parts are interchangeable with later cars. But if you have one car with 2 lambda sensors and it is not compliant, that's for technical reasons, not physical reasons. Like if the car is, you know, all day, they just categorize it as non-compliant because of the age of the car, not because of the actual emissions. Yes, here we have the thermostat, and let me focus a little bit more. The thermostat and the coolant temperature sensor. It's quite straightforward if you do it from the front of the engine. If you just remove a few bits out of the way and use the right tools. Now remember, if you want to work on a Mercedes and do a good job, you need to use some decent tools. Don't use these plumbers multi things, wrench, they call it wrench, we call it spanner. Yeah, use proper tools, because if you want a good job, you need to use a proper tool. Okay, what else we have here? Yes, the oil filter and the filter housing here. It's quite easy to get to with the right tools, remember that. Now, I am removing the gearbox to replace the K1 clutch hub. The K1 clutch hub is the thing that breaks when the first gear starts slipping. I really hope that I can make a video while replacing that K1 hub without any distraction or you know, anything that disturbs me, because I have difficulty making videos because I work alone, and someone can come and the postman asks me to sign something, or someone asked me to pump a tire, and I'm on, you know, on a busy road anyway. So if this happens, just let it go. Right. This control unit here for the gearbox, inside the gearbox, is the #1 reason why the A classes have been scrapped, thousands of them, for the wrong reason. So why this control unit inside the gearbox go wrong? It's mainly driver's fault. Now, I always say that the biggest problem with the A class is a bad mechanic. Now, who's a bad mechanic? A bad mechanic is the person who doesn't know how to treat the car. That could be yourself, the driver, the recovery driver, the MOT tester, the breakdown patrol.